Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to all our esteemed dignitaries, respected members, and participants joining us today for this thought provoking, inspiring webinar on the theme Bridging the Mindset Gap on the topics dependability, the silent force behind every success, and leading and inspiring change, which is being organized by the Committee for Members in Practice of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Today's session aims to inspire professionals to embrace dependability as a foundation for success and to lead transformative change with purpose and integrity. With a truly privileged to have, we are truly privileged to have with us the distinguished leadership of the committee, two exceptional speakers whose professional journeys are and insights will surely enrich us all. So, to begin this session on a note of inspiration, it is my honor to introduce the chairman of the committee, C.A. Madhukar Hirgange sir, who has been a guided force behind numerous professional development initiatives of ICAI. His name is synonymous with vision, leadership, and ethical practice. With over 37 years of illustrative professional experience, he has authored 37 books, including 12 on GST, and has been a guided light in indirect taxation. Beyond his professional accomplishments, he is a true humanitarian, supporting over 5,000 underprivileged students. As a council member of ICI, he has championed students' education and capacity building for SMPs. His life and work embody the very spirit of today's theme, excellence with values and resilience with purpose. We are indeed honored to have him with us today. I now invite our respected chairman, CM Madhukar Hirgange, to deliver the welcome address and set the tone for today's session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Priyanshu, for that wonderful introduction. Sometimes I feel I should speak in the end, especially when we have, speakers who are going to teach us something today. I expect to learn a bit from both Vivek and Anjana. Anjana, of course, is a teacher as it is. She used to teach in IIM and all that. For me, I had a goal that if I'm invited to IIM to speak, I have reached my goal. So I reached that goal a bit early, and then I decided I don't have to teach anymore. But Anjana is a true teacher. Anyway, the my job will not be done because we use this webinar to bring out what we are trying to do. So as we understand, our committee is one where we are building capacities of members in practice. And a large number of our members in practice have got stuck in a rut of doing income tax, doing GST, and most of it in compliance. And slowly they are moving out into the value added areas. When I came to the this committee, the first thing I thought is there is a requirement for paradigm shift in change of thought process for our people to look at consultancy, because consultancy does not come with any guarantee. You do good work, you add value, you get work. And that's the way in which our particular firm had worked, and it has worked very well. So we thought we should get into that, and therefore we have started a number of courses. We have got certificate course in wealth management. We have got certificate course in drafting of deeds, working paper management. Other than that, we looked at lots of areas where a person coming out at a particular time from the from the exams, like we have a pathway to practice, a 7-day program where a fresher can join, and it's all subsidized. I think it is some 3,000 rupees for 7 days. It's a residential program. 7 days of what all you need to understand. What are all the areas of practice you can get into? How you need to get ready to practice. This is what it teaches. And let me tell you, none of us had that facility. Neither Anjana, Vivek, or me. None of us had any such facility. We also have Practice Ki Pathshala. And if I'm not mistaken, Vivek took one class in it also in Bangalore. And it's a wonderful 4 day program for practitioners where who get lost. They feel that they have plateaued. They don't know what to do. Uh, Practice doesn't seem challenging. It looks as if there are no opportunities. And this is a revitalizing course. It can be done residential or non-residential. Other than this, we thought that the mindset changes should be there. And for that, we started this webinar series. And today, those of you who listen to this will realize what a great value it brings. And these lectures are going to be hosted on the ICI TV and also on the CMP website. So you can watch the old ones. You can return to this video also. We've also thought of some specialized courses like a one-stop shop for MSMEs. MSMEs go to 10, 20 consultants. Maybe we can reduce that. We can look at least reducing it to 5 consultants, and we can be one of those umbrella consultants who can provide service in at least 10 areas, either directly or indirectly. Similarly, we are also thinking of doing it for real estate. Now, real estate means not only the large builders or developers, but the contractors, the for resident welfare associations. Many of these people don't get good advice at all. So we thought that it is high time we come up with a one-stop shop course, and a 6 day course has been planned on that also. Our website also is going to have a new look, so you can look for our website next month after the first week. We have thought of doing a number of things, including a 1 day workshop on opportunities. What are the opportunities actually available in the for the CS today in practice? One of the areas we also thought of going for was the outsourcing, which is becoming a big thing. You know, India is the biggest GCC, uh, what you can say, GCC countries. All the people who have come, the top 500 US companies, world leaders, they have all put up their global capacity centers in India. Many of them are technical. Many of them are also doing some sort of a knowledge process outsourcing. It is far beyond the accounting, which used to be one of our strong suits. And therefore, for getting ready for that, we have a course, not the CMP committee. Another committee has a course on US outsourcing. They have also started recently on UK outsourcing. We understand that English is required to be known well, and therefore that committee has tied up with British Council for a course for 90 days. I think it costs around 11,000 rupees. Well worth it, I would say. We ourselves are coming up with a high level course on how you can improve your written skills when you are dealing with companies abroad. Now, uh, that is on 1st and 2nd of October. We are starting the first one in Ahmedabad, but the listeners can ask for this. Remember, this webinar, not only the practitioners come, even the people from industry come, because it's equally relevant actually. But we have started it. So with this, I will stop. We have also got some other chota mota programs like we have customs and FDP, that is customs and FTP, foreign trade policy. We are planning to come up one on Gift City, and we also have GST litigation. So quite a lot of bouquet of things are there. Please come to our site, have a look. And I would love to hear the speakers, so I will stop. I think I have taken a bit more than normal. Thank you for your patience, speakers. Thanks. Over to you, Priyanshu.
Thank you so much, sir, for your encouraging words. So we now move to the most awaiting part of the evening, the knowledge sessions, which promise to offer fresh perspectives and practical insights for today's professionals. So, our first distinguished speaker for today is CADS Vivek, a dynamic business catalyst, trusted advisor, and out of the box thinker. With over 28 years of global experience, CA Vivek is known for his ability to design simple, holistic, and sustainable solutions that integrate business, commercial, tax, and regulatory requirements. A fellow member of ICI and a rank holder in a CA final, inter, and foundation examination, he exemplifies professional excellence. He has served as a vice president of International Physical Association Bangalore chapter and is a Indus Entrepreneurs uh, charter member. His expertise lies in business scaling, restructuring, and digital transformation, and he has mentored numerous entrepreneurs and CXOs in setting their strategic growth trajectories and is also socially engaged, serving as a trustee of several foundations. Sir, it is indeed an honor to have us with you. Uh, we look forward to enlightening session on dependability, the silent force behind every success. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Priyanshu. Thanks for the elaborate, nice introduction as such. Uh, Thanks, Madhukar sir and Anjana ma'am to be a co-speaker on this. Really, I would say this bridging the mindset gap, I think is a very, very much a useful utility for all of us. As I am sharing my success stories today and what made me successful, I also depend upon this to learn from it and then keep on improving upon. Man is a person who keeps improving on day-to-day basis. Let me just take some time to just share my screen. Yeah. Priyanshu, just let me know if the screen is being shared.
Yeah, we can see your screen and it is full screen, sir.
Thank you. Okay. So let me first start with what ICA is doing because we, as part of the profession, are hugely and immensely benefited by the work being done by ICI on all aspects. I take it as three pillars of what ICA is doing it. One, they're giving us the knowledge to operate on our day to day serving the client. They're also talking us about the future capabilities or opportunities, what is there. Just yesterday, I completed the AI course, and I sincerely recommend that. I think every professional needs to get into this, and which is being done by the institute as such. And the center pillar is what I call is they working upon us as being. Because if we want to be as per the vision of the ICAI for Vision 2030, 2049, to be the leading accounting profession in this world, what is important is our being needs to be changed. How we are, how we think, how we act, how we react is what that needs to be there. And I'm happy that these series of sessions works upon the being of us and what will be there. See, there's a lot of programs that is done on taxation, say on FEMA, on outsourcing, as Madhukar was talking about the English and all that. All that sharpens our axe. I think most of us know about the story where if you keep on working with the blunt axe, then your efficiency comes down. So therefore, you need to keep on going and sharpening your axe so that your efficiency comes down, productivity goes up. That is there. Now, with the tools being given to us, how do we use it? The tools can both be used the right way or the wrong way. The right way is what is important, and that is where it is. We need to upgrade our thought process, our virtues, our culture. Those are things that is required. See, we all know, just to share with you, when Ratan Tata took over the Tata empire, at that point of time also, it was a going business, but not a conglomerate as what it was. But only after he stepped in and the way he empowered Tatas, the kind of qualities that he brought into that, the kind of objectives he brought into the Tata enterprises, that has made Tata today what it is today as a global work. So it's important not only just to have our axe sharpened, but our capability also needs to be improved. Now, when we are looking at how do we go about capability increase, that is we need to look upon our attitudes. If we change our attitudes, then I think we change everything that we have in our life. Such. See, I would say that my spiritual guru, my Mahatya, always talks about this, which I want to repeat it here. It says that I understand attitudes do not care where I shape them, but once shaped, they become my behavior, either creating me or destroying me. This is something which has gone so deep into me because whatever I develop over a period of time can either create me or destroy me. I have the right virtues, right attitudes, I can be successful. I don't, then I fail. So always we can start with saying that, hey, what is it? I'm from a remote part of the country, or I am part of the best part, say in Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi, I'm there. So, but the growth pattern always depends upon not where your background comes from, but kind of attitudes that one develops from. Right from childhood, you can develop, if you're not developed the right time, and any point of time, you can start developing the right attitudes, and it can happen. And also, it's very important to know that this is another teaching which I've learned. I can change myself if and only if I change what goes into my mind. See, if always I keep on watching, most of us, when we look at it, we love watching Netflix, Amazon, etc. And when we keep watching that, what goes into our mind? Some kind of a fiction, some kind of a fantasy, some kind of a laziness. If that's what keeps on going and keep watching it, that's what my mind goes in. I'll get into that aspect. If I keep on in the company of those people who keep on cribbing about, hey, why I'm not being successful, because that is not happening. The government policies are not there. So much of competition. The laws are changing. The website's not working. When I keep talking about that, what happens is that I get into that field. That's right, nothing more than that. But on the other side, if I expose my mind to all the positive things in the world, when I go around talk being where with the best of the entrepreneurs, best of the leaders, watch YouTube videos of interviews and get into mindsets of say of Ratan Tata or a Mukesh Ambani or an Adani, know about how Gandhi thought about it, know about any big lead player like an Federer thinks about a game that is being played. When I start exposing my mind to them and I learn that, that is when I'm going to change what goes into my mind and I become what I'm exposed to. So I think these sessions are so important that we learn from all the people. I don't call myself as a very successful person. Yes, considerably good way because I joined the firm when it was 10 number of people. Today we are 180 people. I have a very comfortable life, say a very settled life, being recognized as a reputed chartered accountant, both in the industry as well as by the firm of the profession, known by the entrepreneurs to be a person whom they can count upon. I have done all that, but I still don't consider myself successful because success is something which I work upon day to day everywhere. So I also need to keep my mind open to see how I keep on improving day by day as such. So these sessions are something which is important. I think we need to work upon attitudes. Now, when it comes to attitudes, it doesn't matter what kind of attitude develop as long as it is positive. And each person's attitude may be different. I will talk about my attitude, which helped me grow, but that may not be the only attitude. Today, Anjana madam will talk about her success stories. You would have seen in these sessions each person coming and talking about one aspect of their life which made them success. But what is important is that this attitude need to develop in that, and once it develops, everything else falls in place. Once the right attitude comes in, everything falls in place as such. That is what would happen. Just 1 second. Just 1 second. I'm not okay. Just 1 second. So when you're looking at attitudes, how do you discover what is your right attitude as such, which has to be there? Because just picking up an attitude, I hear some inspirational talk, and then you say that, okay, say today I'm going to be talking about dependability. And then you say that, no, no, let me make dependability as the most important one. I don't think you should do that. Somebody talked about honesty and integrity. We'll make honesty and integrity as what it is. I think the more other than that, there's something what we understand is that each one of us have a golden vibe. We need to discover that. What is that golden vibe? The golden vibe makes us whatever action that we are into, whether it's work or family or friends, that makes the work feels like play. It is something naturally that comes to you, and it feels that whatever you're doing is effortless. And when you're doing something, it is joyful and gives a meaning for you. And that is where your strengths, your skills, and passions align. How do I do that? Very simple. One, always play a reflection game and then see that. Like we were just talking to Madhukar sir just before this session started, and he said he was so intensely involved that he forgot about this as such. Why is that? Because that is something what he is doing. He's so passionate about it. You tend to lose time. In fact, when you somebody is doing for it, when I'm working upon something, I just lose my time. I don't even know what it is. In fact, I would align this to something when you're doing something where you lose track of time or you're so good at it, and when you look at it as a joy, that's actually called meditation. In meditation, what is it? Your focus is so much on one thing and not on multiple things. That is what I would say is your golden vibe on what you're doing. For example, a CA might find joy in mentoring students and not just doing auditing, taxation, etc. Then that mentoring may be his golden vibe. That's something which will actually give me energy. Many times I feel that when I'm working upon something on being counted upon by others, for me it is that something which gives me energy and makes me feel meaningful. In fact, multiple times I've seen when I'm not well, which very seldom happens. I'm always great, feeling great, everything. But suppose I have some kind of headache and I feel not so good today morning as such. But one call from somebody which says that, hey, Vivek, I want you to work upon this. I get all my energy back. And that is what it is. And so that will give you what is your golden vibe would be. So, and when you identify this, go try it out in small practice or pictures for it. Suppose somebody you said that you want to teach students. Go take a class. Don't go enroll for the whole time as a lecturer. Take one or two classes, and you will find out that if you feel the joy of it, then that may be your golden vibe. For me, I tried out multiple things. I know that for me, working at my office, people depending upon me and giving them solutions, that is my golden vibe, and that is what it is. And using that, that is the attitude which I develop, because once I know what is my golden vibe and then work upon it, then I can definitely right, second. Okay. So along with golden vibe as a concept one is there, I also have come across within our own scriptures as to what is swadharma. Swadharma means my own dharma. That is my path which I want to carry on and then contribute to the world. All of us in this world are contributors to this. And what we contribute is through our own duty, carrying out our duty. In fact, even in the Mahabharata, on the battlefield, Arjuna was talked about it as to find out better do your own duty imperfectly than another's perfectly. That means that Krishna told Arjuna, whatever you are good at it, do that and not something what others can do. You don't have to imitate somebody else what they're doing good. This brought them successful. Let me imitate them. This brought them not a success, so let me not do it. Rather than that, you do your own swadharma, and then what you will be able to succeed in it. Now, if you link Swadharma with your golden vibe, both are the same. Swadharma also talks about doing what your nature feels, and golden vibe also talks about what you do with you, what you enjoy. And it was one there, it was Krishna's wisdom. Today, it is golden vibe with some of modern self-awareness as such. And by doing this, you are able to enjoy your life, your work, and everything. In fact, if you acknowledge this and then start doing this, you would not be talking about complaining about work life balance. What is it? I'm working so much at my office, but my family is suffering, or I'm giving so much of attention to family, but my work life is getting affected. People talk about work life balance. In fact, I do not talk about work life balance. I integrate my work and life, it's an integrated package. um, I can go out. Morning show, I can go out with my wife for a movie. It is possible, even during this tax season. I can do that because that is how I would want to do it as such. But at the same time, on a Sunday, which I have supposed to be spent with family, I can go sit down at office and start working upon something. That is possible because I enjoy doing what it is. I have understood what my Swadharma is, and always I work on Swadharma. And Swadharma doesn't mean that it is work related, it is something for me. When it comes to family, I use my Swadharma there. When it comes to being with friends, I have my Swadharma there. When I work, I am having my Swadharma there. So when you are doing wherever you are there, you are in the presence of that particular moment and then working on your Swadharma. That is when your golden vibe is linked, and then you keep on continuing it, what it you have to do that. Okay. So what is my Swadharma? As I told you in the topic of that, my Swadharma is dependability. Of course, one can say that, hey, this is not something which is, so crazy about it. Today, people talk about innovation, disruption, passion. And what is this guy talking about? Dependability, such a old concept. Yes, it may be a very old concept, but in my 51 years of life, I have seen that work for me. I have achieved what all I want to do today. I have achieved because of being dependable, where people count upon me. That is where it is. You may not hear motivational quotes like be dependable, doesn't trend, but it is what has given me my success, and you identify your Swadharma and what it is. It's not a word that shakes the earth, but it's the one that holds the world together. It is dependability which is holding the world together, and that has given me my success as such. Now, how do I discover my Swadharma? That's very important. How do you do it for you to identify it? It is that gradually over a period of time you understand it. It does not happen in day one. It has to go through a reflection. Go start reflecting yourself right from your childhood, early days of childhood, early days of career, early days of family life, how you felt, what it is with when you are relating to your friends, your family, with your professional people. That's how you would be able to learn that. And I will just share with you on how did I look at it. For me, my first observation was at home. My father, Mr. Suresh Babu, is a chartered accountant. Most of you might be knowing, and he was also a Sector Council member. And even today, he's a highly respected and reputed person. When at my home, people used to come across not just with their tax files, they used to come with the biggest questions of life. Someone's business wasn't working, someone's marriage was not working, there were family dispute, property issues, even medical issues. They used to come to my father and ask him for his solution. I was thinking, what kind of a degree he has got? Has he just been a chartered accountant? Has he got something for his life management? But then I understand that people used to depend upon him. He was a trusted person for people, and therefore, people, once you have done that, they used to come for everything, not only for his skill sets, but for him being a dependable person, people used to come for it. And that is what attracted me and came to my first awareness of something called dependability, being responsible. That is where it is. In fact, people used to say, hey, if Suresh is handling it, we'll be okay. So that's the kind of inspiration that draw to me. And from that stuck on to me uh, completely. And from then on, I started growing for it. My next one was from my childhood, what I got. I discovered that whenever an assignment was given to me, either in my class, I was the first person to take it up. It may be a group project, but I used to lead it, and then my friends used to depend upon me for that. And they always say that, hey, Vivek is there. No, it's done. It's okay. Of course, it was a responsibility taken. I didn't understand that because I was like that, everything got dumped upon me. But it's okay. I learned a lot in that. Whether even in the family, people just dump upon me everything that is there. I know that Vivek will take care of it and I'll be able to do it. So the same continued everywhere. Whenever there was a science, some kind of a challenge, I used to raise my hand and then say that, okay, I will do it. So I learned that it wasn't a skill I learned of dependability, but I was leaving dependability. That is what was happening. I think many of you would feel the same thing, when just think about yourself that how you feel when people depend upon you. You feel good, right? You feel nice about it. That is what I used to feel right from my childhood. When people appreciated me for my dependability, when I was able to deliver, I used to feel very excited and appreciated, and that grew into me. My next step came from my articleship. See, I told you I was inspired by my father. So no thing about it that I just got into CA like a fish gets into for a water. It was not about the money at all for me. but the meaningful life that it used to give, that is what all about it, and the satisfaction that can be earned through that, that is what it is. In fact, of course, I also knew that if you crack CA, people would say, boss, this fellow is intelligent. That was also there, not only other stuff as such. But once I got into the articleship, then I realized that, wow, what a thing it is. It is being in the pressure always, being in the fire, and how to deliver everything on time, in the right way, everything. In fact, I was so much worried that I will not let my boss down. My boss, Basavaraj, was been a great inspiration for me, and I have a lot of gratitude for him and Shantapa and Company where I did my articles. They have been a great inspiration for me. I never want their reputation to go down, and therefore I worked upon it. I always used to keep on working upon the assignments even in a group. I used to do that because I was scared not to deliver. That was my fear of being scared not to deliver. Therefore, I started working upon everything and then worked upon it. That is where, again, my attitude, my lookout for dependability, accountability kept on growing as such. Then I think this was the time where I got the baptism in accountability or dependability. I started working with PricewaterhouseCoopers. That time it was Lovelock and Lewis. There I found out that its dependability is not just a quality, it's professional gold. Because if once you adopted it and once people know they can count upon you, they can depend upon you, then the way the profession can grow, the way your services can grow, the way you can grow is just the sky is the limit. Absolutely great. And I heard one person saying that we don't just sign reports, we sign our reputation. That stuck on to me. One needs to be highly reputed as such, and one needs to be reputed, you need to be accountable, be responsible, be dependable. That is what it is. Of course, I joined Suresh and Company, my dad's firm, and found that place already lived by that value. Hey, in fact, I think that was the time PwC and then joining Suresh and Company. I knew that I think people can call me Mr. Defendable. I was officially born. Of course, even today I live without a certificate which says Mr. Dependable, but I think that is no problem. The way people look at it, the way people engage with me, I think that is the great thing as such. How I wish I also carry a certificate I'm Mr. Dependable, but I know. In fact, I was doing an AI program yesterday, right? Institute said they'll not give me a certificate, they'll give me a digitally signed soft copy. In this case, I don't even have any certificate, even soft copy or hard copy to say I'm Mr. Dependable. But I think that is the best part of it. Knowing myself that I'm dependable, not by what others say, but what I believe that I can be dependent upon, I can be counted upon. I think that is what makes the whole thing about it. So, at our firm, Suresh and Company, we are a 180 member firm. We have got around 11 verticals, and each vertical is headed by a reputed person who is an expert and has a it's a pyramid structure that is there. Is our success because of the way we know taxation, the way we know audit, or the way we can provide our services? Yes, that is there. But I think the most important thing is our culture. The culture in of any organization is the most important thing. See, once you develop a culture in an organization, nobody can steal it. If you just have expertise in a particular subject or have the technology, somebody can tomorrow go out and then set up the same kind of a service or a technology and provide it. But doesn't may not bring that success to them. But once you have a culture, nobody can steal that culture for them. In our office, dependability is our culture. When any client walks in, they just know it that we will not say that, okay, we will try it, or we will not tell them that, hey, this problem is there, that problem is there. They know when they come to us, they know they're coming to us because they know that we'll take care of it and then we will do it as such. In fact, a lot of people tell us that, hey, once we are there with you, no, we have a lot of peace of mind. We can sleep well. I tell them, boss, you can sleep well, but please look at us. Allow us also to sleep, no, because that it's like a what do you call it, like an addiction. Dependability has become an addiction for us. Because people count on us, we go so much, put in so much of efforts to see that we provide with a solution. In fact, I tell people, boss, don't expect that we are going to come out with a magic every time. But God's grace, I think we have created magic every time as such, and we're able to work upon it and give it to them. Of course, I also feel someday we should also get something very easy to work upon, something easy. Sometime people say that this is a season for us, that time is a season for us, but at our office it's not so. 365 days, we are working upon something so deep, so intense, because people have depended upon us and people are given that responsibility. So we put ourselves in their shoes and think about what is it that they require. We don't come with a scope oriented, hey, this is the scope, in this scope we will do it. No, we don't look at it. We put ourselves in their shoes, think about if they're doing this, what is the implication of that in the future? What might happen? What are the risks that will be associated with it? We start thinking on that. We take the entire responsibility and come out with solutions that they come out with us. I know that it's much easier because trust, the compoundable ability of a trust is much more than the compounding ability of the money as such. And that's how we have grown as such, not by marketing, not by scale, but just by working upon credibility. Day by day, we have worked upon our credibility and then we have worked upon it. Dependability is not something just for the past as such. Today, we are all talking about AI. AI is coming in, everybody is taking that every work would be done by AI. What will happen? Yeah, AI will emerge supreme, no doubt about it. But in this area, it will be most important is who is the most trustable person whom we can depend upon. He using AI and then coming with a solution, I would go to him rather than working with an AI directly at that. So that is what it's about. Even today, I tell people that, okay, my technology team works upon AI and all that. I tell them, hey, your AI will give the tax computation. But after he sees that big number you need to pay tax, who is it who can comfort him? I am the one that's a chartered accountant, the dependable chartered accountant, trustable person. I can say, don't worry, it will be taken care. You don't worry, you pay this taxes, but it's good for you. And what you're paying is not something wrong, it's a reasonable amount. I know how to calm them down. I know when a notice comes for it, they might say that AI will reply to that. But I am the one as a chartered accountant who can tell them, hey, don't worry. There is a process, this will be done and will be taken care of. All that comes from a dependable chartered accountant, and that is what we would be as such. What have been our success stories as such? I think that's very interesting to look at our success stories as to what we have been working upon it. I have categorized this into multiple aspects. First, let us look at from the client side. Because we are dependable, the client references have grown, dependability as development has happened. I've got clients who would have called up night 1 o'clock in the night and saying the CFO is saying that, hey Vivek, I know I can count upon you, therefore I disturb you because I need to give a decision to my US boss. My CEO sits in the US and I need to give him an answer. Therefore, I called you up. And without hesitation, I give him that solution. I'm not saying, hey, why do you call up in the night? What it is. But people can count upon us, we give it. Now, how did that help us? It disturbed my sleep. But what did that help us? Hey, this guy gave me one of the best partners what I have because working with them for the past 15 years and with the IT industry, using that, we have been able to go and talk to other IT industries. We would have got another 20, 30 large IT companies for our audit and taxation. That is what has happened as such. And there are clients where CFOs, CEOs have changed, but we have been involved in their working with their family for the last 15 years. And anything that happens in their family, they talk to us and they consider us part of their team. They consult with us and do that. Now, by doing all this, what's happening is on one hand, there's a pressure on dependability, but on the other hand, the kind of work that we're getting, the sustainability of the work, everything moves up more and more as such. In fact, there was a client which, there's a very interesting story I want to narrate that. There was a client who was a non-resident who had around 10 crore in a bank. I don't name the bank. That bank was, there were newspaper items which said that that bank most likely shut down. We told the client about this, that move the money to somewhere else. But to move that money, he has to, being a non-resident, he has to open a bank account. It would take 2 to 3 months. So this person immediately said, "Hey, Vivek, 10 crore, I will put it into your account. You hold it for me. Once I open the bank account, you can transfer it there." Hey, just look at it. What kind of a trust people are putting upon you? When this is the kind of trust people are showing to you, I felt that I should rise much above the bar as such. In fact, at that point of time, it was such a scary thing to get that 10 crore into my personal account, hold it for them safely, and then return it back to them. Of course, I also earned a good amount of interest in that. That's a added advantage for us, but that is where it is, you know. And when it comes to our team, I think because we start thinking about where dependability, etc., out of 180 member team, at least 30 of them are more than 10 to 15 years with us. Few of them are more than 20 years with us. Why are they so for us? Because they understand we are a dependable organization. Once the team understands a dependable organization, they're going to stick on to you. And I think today, without team, I don't think we can serve anybody, right? If we want to be dependable to our clients, we need to have the great team on whom we can depend upon. And because it's a culture, everybody there in our office has become dependable. In fact, I feel so much that the team is so dependable. I need to create another team which I started working upon it called the CEO's office, creating that the CEO's office can be the go-to person for the delivery teams, because that is what it's all about, dependability, right? I just can't tell the people to be dependable for the clients. I also need to give them an environment where they can depend upon something on which they can do that. Even when it comes to my professional circle, the people know that we can be dependable. We have been invited to a lot of networking activities, and they say you need to come because it will add value to that network being there, and that comes from a dependability. Whether it comes family and friends, it's we have a lot of fun and joy. At the same time, when something serious is there, something people want to go about, somebody is sick, somebody has a challenge, I think that is the time the family and friends just jump upon our family to come and support them. In fact, for our nation, when it be whether the tax department or the other agencies, they talk to us as being part of TI. I keep on mentoring a lot of startups. That's a nation building activity. So even there, for an entrepreneurs, I'm a dependable person. It's not just that we work upon assignments. When there's any engagement for us, when we need to work upon for the industry, for the society, we raise our hands first and say that, hey, let's contribute to it. We are not looking at money as that, but we are looking want to give something what we can give for us, and that is where it is. And I'm very, very clear on that. What Krishna says in the Gita, don't be swayed by emotions. Do your duty, and I will take care of you. I completely believe on that. We don't look at whether we don't look at a transaction by transaction. Yes, as an organization, we are a profitable organization. We work, we need a lot of profits. But I think profit and money becomes a byproduct. The way we lead our life, showcasing that we are dependable. That is what I think is the most important for us. And once we are able to showcase that, money will come, success will come, reputation will come, all that will follow as such. And that's what happens as such. I just want to take you through a poll as such. Priyanshu, if you can just run through the poll one, I just want to show some example of that. I'll just stop sharing my screen and if
Yes.
you can just.
And I would request all of the members to submit their responses to the poll one, which you can see beneath your viewer's screen. And there are two more polls. If you can please give your responses. I would be sharing my screen and showing the poll one responses. Yes, Vivek sir.
This poll has got two questions there, question one and question two. Two responses are there. I would like you to respond to both. And this is a scenario, what it is talking about, and would like to understand that. Basically, it is one where it say that you can actually give a fee code from say 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs based on estimated effort. You delivered it and the client got a benefit of 10 crores. But you completed that in just 45% of the time, not even 100% of the time, which is worth 5 lakhs, but you completed the time. What kind of a fee would you propose as such? So whether it is, you would say 2.5 lakhs, which is the actual time spent, which is less than the minimum, or we'll say 5 lakhs because I agreed, or because the value is so much, you go and give a lower one. So what you do, just select that. Hey, Himanshu, how do they select the poll?
They can go through the viewers link, and from in the viewers link itself, there are three polls.
Okay,
So
okay,
member, it is getting increased, sir. It is now 32.
okay, great.
So it is members are on live to sharing their responses. So I would request more and more members to respond to these polls so that we can have a good participation towards the poll.
So Priyanshu, let me know when the poll stops for the question number one, and then I'll just give my view on that, and then we'll move to question number.
So you can share your views because it will be
So as of
increasing.
now, out of
Mm,
response, what I see
mm.
is that a lot of people are saying 5 lakhs because that is what we have agreed upon. And some of us are also talking about let's charge 10 lakhs because we are given value. Say, when I'm looking from people depend upon me, I understand that I'm a profitable organization. I also need to earn well so that I can take care of my people, I can grow well, so that it's good for that. But since my contractual obligation is minimum 5 lakhs and maximum 10 lakhs based on efforts, and my efforts were less because here I've gone by efforts based agreement. Therefore, I cannot charge more than 5 lakhs. That is my view. And I think by doing this, people have appreciated us and saying that though you gave us so much value because you went by your clause what it is there and you're able to charge 5 lakhs only. I think that was where we felt our defendability. Just go to question number two. It's just a slight variant of that. In the second one, I have gone and quoted based on the expected benefits the client gets as such, not based on efforts, but based on a expected benefits for the client. I've told him that okay, between 1 to 2 crore is what I anticipated, and if it is 1 crore, it is 5 lakhs. If it is 2 crores, 10%. But end of the time, I gave him around 10 crore benefit, and the time spent was just 2 to 3 hours. Now, how do you change it? Now, what do you do it as such? Here, if we look at it, most of them, again, here I've talked about, they will still charge they will say charge 10 lakhs, the agreed maximum. And some of them said that we will renegotiate it. And some of them still say that it is. In this case, I would say, even following my dharma of being dependable person, because I had indicated to them that my model of fee charging is a percentage. Approximately in my mind, I talked about say a 5% as what it is, which is very clear. I can still go and talk to them and say that, hey, you understood my thing that it is based on the value that I'm going to charge. So I think I gave you some exceptional value, which is much more than what even I anticipated. So I may not ask you 5% of 10 crore, but I think I would definitely deserve something more than 10 lakhs. And when you look at it, this is what I will say that as a dependable professional, it can also important is not just being dependable, how you structure your proposals, how you structure your relationship engagement with the client also comes in, and you should also be benefited and the client also to be benefited. Thanks, Manshu. Let me just share my again. So now with poll one being done. Now, see, this is a issue, right? When because I wanted to be dependable, some might say that, hey, did I lose out on making money out of it? Making money is not the whole criteria. Money will come, the byproduct will come. In fact, being dependable actually gave us lot and lot of challenges that has come in as such. Because while it gave peaceful sleep, for us and our team, it gave us sleepless night. For us, we always had this issue about, hey, are we giving away certain things? The client comes and says that, hey, work upon this, but we go and say, no, no, this is not the right way to do it. Therefore, we were not able to support the client. So, did we mean that we were less dependable upon the client? What did we do? as such. So a lot of challenges comes, but even when the challenges comes, we knew how to solve it. We learned it over a period. One, how did we do that? One, we said, understood the art of saying no. When should we say yes? When should we say no? You need lot of power and conviction to say no to something. When certain assignments came up where we knew that we're not going to add value, it is very clerical work or it's just a body shopping, we said no because we cannot be dependable upon it. See, the beauty of this is once you identify your playing field, in this case dependability, you know what games to be played, which is the sport you want to play. Where it's a sport or a field where there's dependability involved, we'll play that. Otherwise, where it is not, it is just a service that is there where there's nothing called dependability. Though we might make a lot of money, we say no to it. And when you say no to it, it's very important as a firm because people depend upon us. The moment we started saying no to it, we also felt that, hey, are we not being dependent upon? Because people are depending upon us, are we dharma as such what it felt? Then we said that we are not the ones who will do it, but we will delegate it or refer to certain other professionals who are good in that. So still the solution used to come from us, not from us, but through us. We used to give that. There were cases where people come and say that I need this to be done in 20 days. We used to say no to them. Very clearly, we know it cannot be done in 20 days. Then we said, okay, it might take 25 days. We used to say it will take 30, 35 days. And go ahead, you used to under promise and over deliver. We used to say we'll do it in 30 days, then we give it in 25 days. When it's 20, we say no, as such. We used to stand for our team. When by doing this, it was very clear that when I go and tell the client, hey, it cannot be done in 20 days, my team requires more time, they are ready to give us more time because they know that if it was not so, we would have done in 20 days. We have built that culture for it of giving timely delivery for it. They know that they can depend upon us, and they know when we say 25, it will be 25 or less than 25, definitely not 30 days. So these are the things that we are able to do that and then come out with this look. So, Priyanshu, can I again have the poll 2 after that poll 3?
Sure,
Some
sir. I'll
interesting
do that.
scenarios how
Thank you.
dependability works.
Please unshare your screen, sir.
Yes, yes.
This is the poll too.
In this case, these are all live cases that we faced, so that's why it is. We had a long-standing client from many years. We have been working, one of our biggest client from whom we have been an auditor. They wanted to record a transaction contrary to accounting standards so that they can get bank funding. The bank also agreed for it, and we know that the client has the ability to pay the loan, but we had the auditors, and something which was not in accounting line had to be done. So, how would you respond? There are options. One, I can just say that because his client, I have to be dependable to the client. They have counted upon me so long for so many years. I will go ahead and sign off for them because bank is okay. I know nothing wrong is going to happen. The bank loan will be repaid. I can sign off on that. I can resign as an auditor and allow another auditor to sign. In this case, I am not signing it, but I'm saying that let other auditors sign off. As such, I can do that. Or the other way was to engage with the bank and talk to them that, hey, even after we doing this accounting in this way, your commercially things are not changing for you. You are going by the commercials of this company, their history, their security. Therefore, it is not there. Of course, this is beyond the scope as a statutory auditor, but still I go and do that. So I think most of you have agreed for it that I'm so happy that 75% of them have agreed and then done what we have been doing. I think that's the beauty of it. Chartered accountants, we really know what our ethics talk about, what is our knowledge talks about, and that is where we do that. It's not just resigning off is not solving the problem. It is important to solve it, not just by we not signing and giving to somebody else, not be there. So it is. Uh, Priyanshu, can we go with the third poll? Goal number three. Yeah. Uh, in this case, what happened is this again, a client had financial distress due to a lot of private borrowings. He's again a long time, 50-year client. And therefore, we advise them stop repaying all the borrowers. Because if you keep paying the borrowers, you are going to sink down. Only if you survive, you restructure your business, then at least you can pay something to a borrowers. Out of 100, you can pay 40 rupees, 50 rupees, 60 rupees. But if you continue repaying your interest for everything and everybody becomes zero, you become zero. At the same time, I realized that unfortunately my mother and uncle were also part of the borrowers. They came and said that it seems the auditor told them that not to repay. So can you go and tell them that at least our case they have to repay? So what is it that I have to do? So can I go and tell the client that no, make an exception to them, or inform them that restructuring process applies equally to all that, or encourage them, tell the family to go and talk to them and tell them that they go and work with the client, but I will not get involved. So what it is. So again here, most of them have responded that very dharmic as such, saying that okay, restructuring applies to everybody, so you cannot go it. But I think I took a different option, saying that as a professional, I cannot tell them I cannot have a change for you. But I have seen them doing some changes for others. So if you want to go and talk to them, you talk to them and see if you can get a better deal from them. They might give them a better deal because I am involved, knowing me they can do that, or they may not give it. But as long as I am not involved, is where it is. So when I inform this to the client, their respect for me grew multiple times. In spite of my own family wanted to get money, when I did not tell my client, pressure upon them to take care of my family, my dependability went on high. And this in turn has given me lot of freedom, lot of respect, and they have referred me to multiple clients after this and said that these fellows work with through integrity, so you can go to them, and the benefit what I've got must be much longer on that. So Priyanshu, I'll again reshare my screen, Priyanshu. See, for me, what all I have achieved in my life, what all the way success I've seen in my life, everything is through my guru and my divine source called Mahatria, and his teachings are something which I thought, couple of teachings which has helped me grow as a dependable person is what it is. He always says that for transformation, for us to change, we need to go from our comfort zone to growth zone. We have to live. If we have to grow, we need to get away from the comfort zone. I know it is very difficult. There are manifold challenges. For example, we saw in that my mother and uncle wanted some money to be back. That means it's my money, right? My family money. But I wanted to grow, so I had to leave the comfort zone. And I had to go through certain transformation, and it was very uncomfortable for me to face people, but I still did that. And also connected to that is I will subordinate my likes and dislikes for the purpose of my life. That means it doesn't bother whether personally I like something or dislike something. But what is right for the purpose of my life, I need to go behind that. And that is what is happening it. And always we look at it, if I have working for a nobler idea, the inspiration is so much more. See, today the whole way we work is to how we as an organization support entrepreneurs, and the entrepreneurs grow and realize the dream of India becoming a superpower, taking it to 30 trillion economy, what it is, etc. More than that, how India can be superpower. And what is it that we do? We always believe in the circle of influence, so we can work with the entrepreneur community, with the corporates in India, corporates outside India. We make them more and more powerful. They having the capacity to earn more, invest more, create employment, etc. And then the nation can grow, India can grow. So that is how we are contributing to this, and that is how we want to be dependable for the country and then take that. And most important is I might have a lot of knowledges everywhere, but knowing is not doing, doing is doing. Anything that I learn, I just don't keep it to myself for what it is. As knowledge, I'm there and just passing on to somebody, but I go ahead and then do it at myself. That is where it is. That is whole way it is. We have been the dependable person if entire 51 years of my life, right from my young days of learning the ropes, leading to build a great organization. One thing very stands very clear, and that dependability has become our compass that leads us wherever I went. It guided me. Whatever we build today, that has been strengthened. That is what is happening. And there's one attitude that has been credited to my journey, and that has helped me every single time, every single case I've won it. I might have faced challenges, but I've overcome challenges because one thing that we held on to it was dependability. We all are students of balance sheet, assets, liabilities, etc. For us, dependability is our goodwill, and that is what we have been standing about. And you just know that, I just want to thank every person, every chartered accountant who is going and living by this value of dependability, because I feel we chartered accountants are the nation builders. We are the ones who are going to structure it and look for how the nation builds, how the entrepreneurs think, how societies behave, how everybody looks upon us. And when they people look upon us, we should be counted upon us as such. So more and more people should talk about it. Hey, go to the chartered accountant. He will guide us well in our the best interest, and we can depend upon them. And that is what it is. So need more and more support to work upon as a profession to gain more and more, becoming the best of the world professional in that. And this is what I wanted to share with all of you as to how dependability has made me grow. And thanks for every soul who's out there who says that dependability is the way to success. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your deeply insightful and inspiring talk. There are one or two queries which you can take. In the era that celebrates speed and innovation, how can professionals remain steadfastly dependable without losing eligit- eli- uh, eligibility and creativity?
I would say that, see, when I say that you have to be dependable, I've never said that you should not be innovative, you should not have speed and do that. If I don't innovate, people cannot depend upon me. I look at it everything like this. I need to innovate because I can stay relevant, I can stay dependable. I have to deliver fast because people have to depend more upon me on that. So everything I connect with dependability. Something, the reason why did I go for AI course? Because if I don't go to AI course, people cannot count upon me. So I need to increase my capability, my whole thing. So with the very purpose of being dependable, I go and learn new things. I innovate. I am creative. You are talking about me as an out of box thinker. Yes, I am an out of box thinker. Why? Because I creative, because I can be dependent on that. So that is what I would say.
Thank you, sir. Just one more. Chartered accountants are known as pillars of integrity and trust. How can we further strengthen this image by embedding dependability into every facet of our professional conduct?
I think we just have to live, walk the talk as such. We always talk about integrity, ethics, dependability. And it's the most easiest thing or the most toughest thing I would say is to walk the talk. But we need to grow in that direction as such. And more people embracing that, it is there. Even today, what is it? Even just it's a 5% of people who talk, do something wrong, and that gets talked about it. But when people start talking about the good things that we do, it is there. I think also it's a responsibility for the society and chartered accountant. We say talk about blow your own bugle. We have to go and talk to the world what good we are doing. Otherwise, everybody, something wrong happens, they point to the chartered accountant. But something so much right is happening, nobody points out. I think it's our responsibility. I don't know if ICA can talk about what good chartered accountants have done to the nation building. More and more noise to be done. Good needs to make noise. Everything has to be sold. Even good has to be sold. Unfortunately, good has to be sold. Such.
Thank you, sir. So we now turn to our next eminent speaker, CA Anjana Vivek Madam, a global consultant, mentor, and a thought leader. CA Anjana Vivek, Madam, is the director in a global consultancy company and serves on a board of ICI Atlanta chapter. She mentors the IIM's Bangalore's Entrepreneurship Center and the ICAI USA Empower Women's Circle, a respected voice in the fields of entrepreneurship, venture capital, valuation, and women leadership. She has held senior roles in two of the big consultancy firms, served as served as the faculty member at IIM's Bangalore, and continues to contribute as a board advisor and independent director. She is also the co-author of the acclaimed book How She Made It in 2025, which celebrates the journey of successful women entrepreneurs and presents practical case studies and tools for entrepreneurial growth. Madam, it is our absolute privilege to welcome you today. We now invite you to share your session on leading and inspiring change. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Priyanshu, and yeah, to ICAI for inviting me, Shri Madhukar, and for the nice, dependable session which we had. I could depend on you to take the session through. So thank you for that. And I will share my screen. Just a minute.
Are you able to share your screen, ma'am?
Yes, it's just coming. I think I will.
Yes.
Can you see it now?
Yes, ma'am, we can see it.
Okay. So, yeah, thank you. And, when I got to know about this session and what do I speak about is what I was asked. So, just a quick background, which I don't put in my, the professional profile is professional. I don't put personal stuff, but I think in this case, it's important because I'm living this, okay, changing myself. I call this my third innings in life. um, 64, grandmother. I have twin grandsons. So I've relocated to the US 5 years ago, when I thought I'm retired and come here. Came here to the US. Now in the US, because, the next generation is here, I have a duty to that also. So my personal duty. And so I decided to, what am I, what is my comfort zone is the chartered accountancy, or my identity in life is my CA. It's close to 40 years I've been a chartered accountant. So I started communicating with the CA community in USA, so much so that I've become a member of the newly set up Atlanta chapter of CA Institute, as well as I'm, part of the leadership team of, we have a women's group here across women chartered accountants in the US. So I've actually reinvented myself, right? So the second innings was after, I'd taken a career break when my son was young, and now I've come back. So, and every time I feel, I used to feel that I don't have much. I have lost everything, but I've been able to reinvent myself, and people have found value in it. And this topic was also, interestingly, this topic was given to me about 7, 8 years ago. Young women at IIM Bangalore, they had a women's, workshop, and the graduating women of the batch, I think 2019. And so this topic was given to me to talk to the young women leaders, potential women leaders. So somehow I seem to be leading and inspiring change for others. That's what people tell me. And I think what Vivek said about finding the your dharma or your zone, you'll find the echo of that in the start of my presentation, right? So I thought this was an appropriate topic to talk about that, because change is the only constant. We all change. We grow, we don't even realize how slowly we grow, but then you realize that you've changed. Yeah, if you look back. So, with that, I just want to go ahead and start with my session. I've put it into two parts. One is very specific, looking at how, what is this change, and then a very philosophical approach, which I have practiced over the years, what I have, I think, observed or learned. So, I'm not doing it through any poll, but I'll just give you a few seconds to think about it. When you think of leading and inspiring, what is it that comes to your mind, right? When you think of these words, what is leading, what is inspiring? Just think about it for a few seconds and then I will go to the next. And apologies, my throat is a little hoarse today, so I hope you can hear me clearly. Thank you. Okay. So the leading and inspiring, it starts with the inward focus. So when, how do you lead yourself? So self leadership is something which I'm very focused on, and that's the space in which I talk about and teach. Madhukar was mentioning that I'm a teacher, and that is something which I come from a family of teachers, and I love to explain to others when they have a question. I come out with some. Um, uh, they can discover the answer, so help them discover the answer themselves. But first, I have to lead myself. So I, talk about this self leadership. What is it you want to lead? And where do you want to grow? So, like I said, I've talked about, being in my third innings. So I can lead myself when I'm motivated and when I'm in a happy place, in a joyous place, and with energy. And I think a lot of it echoes what the previous speaker, CA Vivek, was speaking about. So by your life, you inspire others. And that is where I feel like, I told you, for a few years I was in the US. First 2 3 years I was not working, and I thought I'm a grandmother and I've given up. And today, to be a part of the ICA Atlanta board and to be invited to speak in this kind of a forum for the CA Institute, it is a learning for me. I was putting myself down, thinking I have no value, right? Saying I've come to a new country and there's no value for me here. So it's this is what I'm trying to share. We sometimes don't realize what potential we have. So please go inward, figure out what motivates you, what excites you, get that energy back, and then you can see that you will motivate others too. But don't worry about that. Figure out what the previous speaker was talking about. What is it which motivates and excites you and gives you joy? And the same things. First is looking inward. What do I love to do? And again, we had this example of, forgetting time, right? Where you zone out. So look at the patterns in your life in the past. And I'm not going to go too much into it because, we've had it spoken about in detail, right? So what am I good? What am I great at? And of course, one of the things is greatness doesn't happen overnight, right? Excellence is a habit, like they say. Aristotle has said that, right? Excellence is not something which you have excellence immediately. It comes with repeatedly working on something and it becomes a habit. So that I think as chartered accountants, we already have that capability. Otherwise, we would not have cracked the exam and be chartered accountants, right? So, excuse me, the core is already there with us. We have some core intelligence, ability to apply the intelligence, ability to work hard. So that hard work is not something one time just for cracking the exam. It is something which sustains us. And I think most chartered accountants like it, working hard. So you're already there, right? So it takes time, and this excellence will develop over time, the becoming great. So this is what the clue will come in. Where do I forget myself in my work? So in my case, like I said, I discovered it is teaching. So I have been a consultant. I was an entrepreneur. I had a very successful consulting business. And I continue to mentor, teach, right? So for me, when I explain to somebody, if they have a question or a doubt and they understand, it's like a light bulb flashing. I look at it like a light bulb flashing in somebody's head. I feel very happy that I've been able to explain. So whether it's consulting, so my style of consulting is also like a teaching. So unlike other consultants, when people come to me, my space has been funding, valuation, venture capital, entrepreneurship. So when they come and ask me some question, so for example, if it's a valuation question, I'll actually explain the whole valuation concept to them, the basics. So I'll spend 5-10 minutes saying, this is how, you can look at valuation for your business. This is how startups can. This is how a growth company can. What is it you're valuing your business for? Is it to sell to somebody? Is it to understand that you want to go IPO after a few years? What do you want to do? So I get into a different advisory mode and then get into the consulting piece. So that has set me apart. And so people would come to me that they would understand and I would simplify it. So, again, as the previous speaker said, I discovered this later. I used to feel I really don't know what is my USP. Then I realized explaining to somebody and getting somebody who understands is something which excites me. So, you know, uh, it seems to have come from both of us. So, I would really urge all of you to go back and look at what are you, really, which is the work you like. So, to give examples, there is, some people like to the technical stuff, right? Tax, getting into the complexities, knowing all the laws, knowing all the latest, rulings, right? Somebody likes that. So they will be very up to date with all these, the data. Whereas somebody else, there is someone I know who's very senior and she loves Excel spreadsheets. So she insists on spending some time. So if in financial planning, she has been a CFO and she helps companies like a virtual CFO. So what she does is she takes time, even though there may be some juniors working on the spreadsheet, she will take some time to work on the spreadsheet and look at it and actually dabble with it, right? Because she loves looking at those numbers and the data and looking at alternate scenarios and probabilities. So she's built that into her work. Then you may like to talk to people. So there are some people who like to be outward facing. So they can meet the customers. There are some people who don't like meeting people. So they spend more time in, say, analyzing the problem and finding the solution. So you can team up with your members. So it's not just when you say work is tax or value add or audit or knowing the accounting standards or spreadsheets or financial projections. It is also about how you deal with people. So whether you like to be in the forefront meeting customers and clients, of course everybody has to do a little bit. And I'm assuming a lot of us are members in practice, right? So I'm focusing on that core group. So whether it's facing people, customers, potential customers, or whether it is back end work, so try to look at various aspects, the hard issues, technical issues, as well as the soft issues, and spend some time on that. So take time to think, revisit, and then your answer will evolve as you understand yourself better. And this is the beauty of it, that the deeper you go, so it's like an onion, right? You understand yourself. So the more you peel, you go inside. So there are so many layers to your personality. And, Vivek was also talking, the previous speaker was talking about meditation. Right? So what do you do in meditation? It is actually removing the outer layers. Okay, it's removing the fog which is clouding your mind, and you go inside. So first you will get one level of answer, next you will get one level. So same way, you find out, identify. And this is so beautiful because when you do what you love to do, and this has been said by somebody uh, a couple of 100 years ago. And my early boss, when I first joined, he said that. So if you do what you love to do, then name will come, fame will follow, and money will automatically follow. And somehow this got into my head at a very young, early stage in my career, that I should do what I love to do, and then name will follow, fame will follow. And I've seen that name came and fame has come and money, right? It's all byproducts. So that is the key. So let's just go back now, just stepping a little back. right? Saying, what is your dream? What was your dream when you started? Because the dream is what motivates a human being. So, one side, what you like to do, what you love to do, please analyze, right? And again, this is about self motivation. What is your, like he talked about the golden zone. Next, what is your dream? So, go back to what your dream was when you started, whatever stage of your career is, you are in, and your dream now. Because if you look at dreams, the dream is what sent somebody to the moon, right? Who would have thought some human being could fly to the moon? So you can go anywhere, right? And so, what is your dream to get you started? Do you want to be the best? Do you want to be the largest firm? Do you want to be a global firm? That is one aspect, right? And the best numbers, like you could say, we were talking about data points, 100 partners, okay, 50 partners in 20 countries, in 5 countries, in 5 years, 20 countries in 10 years. Some data points are there. So you actually start then defining what you mean by large, global. That is one aspect of it. The other is you want to make a difference, you want to change, you want to contribute, right? We talked of nation building, we talked of contribution to entrepreneurship, we talked of contribution. For me, it's contribution to students. And currently, like I told you, I'm also mentoring. There's a group of women chartered accountants. We have an Empower group in USA. So all chartered accountants from India who've relocated to the USA. We've created a learning pillar. We've created a mentoring pillar. So I'm one of the mentors there. So actually, helping, and I really feel very passionate about this women and leadership, because I feel we have so much to contribute, but the world doesn't see us. They always say, even this independent directorship, people, in India, we talk about saying there are no women who have the potential. That's because we may not fit into the mold of what is seen traditionally as a good to have. And people are not looking at other things, right? So I feel very strongly about this. And it started with my journey when people didn't see me as having potential. I myself didn't, right? Like I told you many times. So this change, helping others, contributing, assisting is another motivation. So, that drives a lot. And then again, your motivation, the underlying thing. Do you want to make an impact? Do you want to have a name, fame, money? Or what is it which is motivating you? Right? What are the drivers for this? What do you want to do in your dream? So, two things I look at when you're analyzing yourself. What are the strengths that you have? Okay, we talked a lot about reflection. So, when you sum up, what are the strengths which you have, which you can bring to your venture, to your practice, right? And how do you bring it? Like, we talked about dependability in the earlier case of the speaker, saying, how did he bring dependability into his practice? And then across the practice. And then what are the constraints? What are the problems there? What are the deficiencies you have? Because we are all not perfect. What are the downsides to your strength? So for me, one of my other things is, like I said, I have this fear of not being capable, right? Which I think is for many of us. I realize it's not just me, but many of us have that. And the speaker earlier also spoke about this, the being afraid that you cannot deliver to your clients. So for me, that has actually become a strength, because I'm afraid that I cannot deliver. I study more, I work more, I work harder. So my strength has become my weakness. My weakness has become my strength. So, you can figure out. So sometimes it's the same. Your strength becomes your weakness can become your strength. So constraints, look at your constraints and see how do you either accept it and either get partners or others to back up, or you address it in the way you work. Next is, let's look outwards. So, who are your stakeholders when you're looking outward? So, I have just put few, okay? The stakeholders could be your colleagues, co-workers, right? Your partners, your clients, potential clients, and others like the nation at large, society. You put out articles. It could be government, right? It could be other officers, bureaucrats. So others I've just put one bucket. So when you look at your colleagues and co-workers, as you grow, okay, you may start as one person, but are your values assigned? So this is the first core thing. Ethics, ways, and means to grow. And we've personally experienced some of this, right? And we saw some questions in the poll. They were not really unethical, sometimes maybe gray areas. We don't know. Not all rules are, in black and white, right? It is also a perception. So when the like in the poll, if you have two partners who are having similar, like let's take the case where there is an accounting policy, and you have to sign something which is not aligned to the accounting policy, but there should be no problem, okay, for some reason, like the case was explained. So if one partner feels it's okay and one partner doesn't feel it's okay, it then it's very clearly ethically not correct, because or the accounting guidelines don't permit you to do it, but sometimes it's gray areas, right? So when for bank loans they say show different accounting, the accounting ratios. So then you can play around. You can either increase your liabilities or assets, by paying some liabilities, or not paying some. So then you can change some ratios, and by having a ratio within a range, then the bank loan criteria is met. So is that ethical or not ethical? So there was once a debate between a CFO and the assistant CFO. The CFO said it's okay, and the assistant CFO didn't want to do it. So the assistant CFO actually quit the company because there were two, three such situations. So then, you really understand what are the values, you go deeper, and you may not realize this, right? Once you start working. So I've seen many partnerships break. So it's not necessarily values. It could also be, so when, partnerships and growth of business, it is also different perceptions of how you want to grow. So when we talk of growth, somebody may say, I want to grow in tier 2, tier 3 cities in India. Somebody may say, I want to grow global. Only if I have offices in 3 countries, right? Let's do that first and then come to India. So which is right, which is not right? So it's again your way of looking at it. So there's nothing right or wrong. So these are some of the things that's very important to understand and really look at your business plan alignment also. So value alignment. So another situation, um, some group wanted to grow, right? So then they all had to invest. Let's say they have to invest 5 lakhs each. So they wanted to put in money to hire people to create a new branch, etc. So initial investment 20 lakhs. But then they found that if they can invest 50 lakhs, um, actually some they could even merge with another firm. Some, all some other aspects could be dealt with, but everybody didn't have the money. One person had that funding. So then what do you grow based on the minimum, or do you grow based on the maximum ability to contribute? Then the partnership changes, the relationship changes. So these are some of the things when you're looking at colleagues and outward growth, right? So these will demotivate and de-inspire the change. So you want to grow, you want to get, create a large business. These are some of the softer aspects which you need to think about. It's not just jumping into it and starting your business and growing. This is another most important need, and we did touch upon it a little bit. What is your customer need? What is stated? What is not stated? Can you meet it? And service focus has to be on the output, the shraddha. That's the only one word. I cannot. In fact, in one of our a board meeting recently, I used this word and I said, a lot of people work with shraddha. And somebody started laughing at it, saying, did you bring the shraddha along? And, it was not an appropriate joke, but it's a very serious point I'm making. we are Shraddha is something which is it is like being devoted. Okay, it's a prayer to your work. And you see all our scriptures, what do they talk about? Work is worship, right? So are you doing that Shraddha not to the time, not to the effort, not to the money, but to the work? And this brings me so much clarity personally, because we are very as chartered accountants, we are told not to market. So we are trained in this, and this somebody pointed out to me. And secondly, the region where I come from, all of us are don't like to promote ourselves. Okay, this is also part of the culture, my regional culture, that I don't like to talk about myself and promote myself. But if my job needs it, sometimes I have to talk. So the Shraddha is not to me, not to what I'm comfortable with, my comfort zone. But does my work need a little bit of, explaining, talking? So that becomes a kind of benchmark for me. And that is where when I do my mentoring, I'm known as a star mentor. And Vivek is in Thai Bangalore charter member. I have recently rejoined Thai charter member in Atlanta. I used to be a Thai charter member for 17 years, and I was considered one of their star mentors, because I would especially for women entrepreneurship, and women leadership, because I will not focus on the time I'm taking, but I would focus on delivery. It's not because it's free. In fact, in here we pay money to do mentoring. In some cases, we pay membership fee, which is quite significant, and we do free mentoring. And I will share. So that has always been the underlying, that am I doing justice to the work my customer? Now, this session, for example, I consider you all my customers. So it's not a word which is to be abused. It's customer means I have to do my work with dedication. So I spend time on it. So if you do this with dedication, that sincerity is noticed, and it will pull your clients to you. So you don't have to market your business. And that is the secret. And Vivek again talked about attitude. So it's so interesting. I think the values converge. And I'm sure if you talk to Madhukar, he will talk about the same thing, attitude. Right? I remember in some conversations. And I have known Madhukar, we were part of a study circle close to 3 decades ago. We used to share knowledge, right? So before the CPA credits started with structure in the institute. So that is the thing. All of us will tell you, all the ones with success will tell you, attitude is the one which works, which is very important. And work quality, of course, that cannot be, you know by marketing and having dedication and not doing good quality work, nothing will succeed. So this is basic. You don't have to market yourself. Your clients will sell to somebody else. So for me, all my business has come because of past work. Today, I've got this, my assignment which I've got from the CA Institute, from one of the chartered accountants, is also because they have seen me in the past. 20 years ago, they've seen my work, and that has stood out, and they have remembered. So it is this, again, just to state, customer is really, it's not about you. Don't think of yourself. Okay, first you look inward and then leave that alone to bring those talents to the work. Focus on what the customer wants, because they will tell you 10 things. What is it they want? What is it they need? And like, for example, for us, when I used to work with people who wanted, say, funding, I never got into funding, but I will help them. They will then go and try and raise money from others. I will be an advisor. But if I feel that they are not ready for money, VC money, or they should go for a debt, or they should work better and rather sell, even if I will get less money, I will tell them, don't put a financial plan together, work on selling your business. So then it is about what they need, not about what is right, what gives you money. And we saw some of that in the earlier poll also, right? So customer need and your work with Shraddha. These are the two key which will, stand out. So this is what I wanted to tell you from a very, specific focus. Now I'm becoming a little philosophical. Like I said, I'm a grandmother, right? I have twin grandsons, two little boys who are 6 years, just getting into first grade, first year, first standard. And I give them all my philosophies. And so I feel now that I'm a grandmother, I have a right to give my philosophies in life. So I'm taking that liberty to share some of those things. Life has its phases, right? So I'm talking about my third innings. What I was 20 years ago, 30 years ago is very different from how I am now. So the phases, when you look, it takes you through ups and through downs. You may be in an up or you may be in a down. But if you stand on a mountain top and look at the road, all the turns, they have flattened down at the peak, right? So when you look back in your life, everything seems like one road which is steady. But at this point in time, it may be paining you or you may be in a very joyful moment. So that's what we talk about samatvam. When you do this samatvam na chalayat, in the pranayama we talk, when you do this pranayama, we come to a steady state, so that when you do the steady, have a steady state, you don't want to move from that steady state. So, when you look back, it looks like life was a steady state. So we try to operate from a steady state with a balanced mind. And most importantly, believe in yourself, right? And I have struggled with self belief, and I'm sure most of us struggle with self belief. It's not, people talk about women not having self belief, but you realize when you start talking to people, even the ones who looked very successful, they have fought the fear internally. They may not have shown it, but they've had this fear. So the way I have looked at it is, I put myself a 5-year goal. And exactly what happened, it's 5 years since I came here to help out with my grandkids. And I said, in 5 years, I will get back to some career. So I've got back. So you put a goal. When you think that it's not working out, don't say that, okay, tomorrow it will happen, I will crack it, right? Whatever your goal is, whatever your dream is, put a short term plan, put a dream. So the dream is, it can be 15 years, 20 years. You have a dream, then you have a short term 1 year plan. How do you crack and achieve your long midterm goal? So your short term plan will lead to your midterm goal, which is 3 to 5 years. So you kind of phase your life into these three aspects. So there's a short term, immediate survival, and it's like the base which you're building. 3 to 5 year, it's a guesstimate. It's an estimate plus a guess. Okay, and you may have to pivot a little bit and change. And then there's a long term dream, which really is the driver. It pulls you, and that is where the core, if you look inside your heart, you connect, you look inside, what is your strength, that drives your dream. So you can redo, you can re-engineer, and believe that you can, and treat time as your friend. So the way I'm looking at time, it's not an enemy. Though we do talk of every second which ticks, your life is going on. That's one way of looking at it and getting scared. But really, over time, in fact, the older you grow, sometimes the more you understand and analyze yourself, the happier yourself with yourself, you inspire yourself, you're in a state of joy. And so to energize, you nurture what your nature is, align along your interest areas, plus pursue some creative activities. And I think a lot of us are forgetting the creative aspects, right? And creative does not mean just watching cricket, on actually going out and playing, or doing, if you like, physical activities, going out, doing something, whether it's yoga, right, going to the gym, combining both. Art, I see a lot of people taking to art, painting, right, drama, dancing, whatever. Figure out what you like to do something and integrate that. So we work on four fronts: mental, and today mental health is being so talked about, and all of us do go through it. At some phase or the other, we've gone through depression. You may not call it depression, but a downside, right? So that is where the strength traditionally for us has come from our spiritual and family and friends. So mental health, physical health is most important. Health is wealth. Emotional, right? Ups and downs, and spiritual health. Think about what brings you joy. So, work on these four pillars. And it's, I've always been talking about social and friendships, and especially, and I was talking about women, right? In women leadership, when we talk about it, Most women do not network in the past. Now it's changing a little bit, but we would say there's only time for family and work, right? For the women CAs and women professionals. But um, it's now being understood. There is, so I would say that no, you should meet up with others. You need somebody to talk about, your spouse. You want to complain about your spouse. You have some friends you can be free with, a safe zone. You want to complain about the children, teenage problems, you have a safe zone. You want to complain about your work, your issues on in work, you have some people you can feel safe with. It's not gossip, please understand. It's about just being able to let down and be relaxed. Then it's out dumped out of your mind. So for now, latest studies have shown that for human beings, the most important thing for longevity, you may guess from what I'm saying, it is not physical activity, right? It is actually social activity, the ones who are social beings. So what they say, especially in the Western culture, right? Social, even if you go out, you go to the store or you meet somebody on the road, when you're going for a walk, you say hello, right? Especially as one gets isolated, even that encourages the quality of your life, improves the quality of your life. So being a social being, right? So that is very important. So don't underestimate the power of, I put family first, because family remains with you. And the other studies have shown the more time you spend with somebody, the more open you are with them and the more you can benefit from friendships. So family is the one you've spent a lot of time with. So take time to develop these, and at the same time, they provide a support system. Do not continuously use them as a crutch. So for some time, if you're going through a phase of not feeling well, just like we use a crutch when we have an accident, use the crutch and then try to give up on the crutches. So work on nourishing and nurturing your relationships. They are very, very precious. The most precious things that you can have, with deep thought. And then, let go of minor petty problems that you have. If somebody is criticizing you, let go of it, let them be. You don't have to justify, because eh, that is the unfortunate increasing noise with social media. You see everywhere, everybody wants to comment and give an input, negative input, positive input. So less of noise and spend time developing friendships. So nourishing and nurturing. I think I'm just keeping an eye on the time. Maybe 5 minutes. I should close up. Couple of minutes. So when you nourish, there are two aspects to life: giving and getting. At different points, when you start off in your career, you want to get, right. You want to make money. You have to provide for yourself, your family, etc. But along this journey of life, consciously move towards giving. And the earlier you can move towards giving, the better it is. And giving need not be only in terms of money or time, like, mentoring. The joy that it gives you, right? It really is enormous. And those who have given will know it. So the more you give, actually, the more you get. And that is so true. So, and give with gratitude. Like I said, with Shraddha. You're not doing anybody a favor. They are not begging from you. Please understand, right? And this is the unfortunate thing. Sometimes people give thinking that they are um, doing a favor, or from a superior point. Everybody is equal. You are blessed in this journey of life to have much to give. So you are blessed at this point, so you can give. So see it as a blessing that you can give, and don't see it as being superior that you can give. And so, just to conclude, to inspire and self motivate, take time, make time, just be. Don't always be on your phone, pause, reflect. Take some time, whether you meditate or just sit in front of a tree, right? Watch the leaves, just see the beauty of nature, whatever you figure out. Take just time to sit idle and think of the food you feed your mind, and to your own self be true. If you lead yourself and flourish, I wish you all the very best. And thoughts and dreams. So this is the other thing. This again, many of you would have said, seen this. Watch your thoughts; they become your words, actions, habits, character, your destiny. So your destiny is in your hands when you look at your thoughts. And this is a poem. I'd like to leave you with this poem. which a friend of mine gave it to me when I was in college, and I'm sure this will be shared. So, 2 points here. One is, if you compare yourself with others, you may become vain or bitter. For always, you will find greater and lesser persons than yourself. I was very fortunate to get this when I was a young girl studying in college. So, this got into my head that I should never compare myself with anybody. So, I followed my own path. And then, you know, this other point, be gentle with yourself. Let us be kind to ourselves. We are putting so much pressure. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. And whether or not it is clear to you, you have a right to be here. So be gentle with yourself. It is still a beautiful world and strive to be happy. This is an old poem. And like I said, it was given to me at a very influential age, and I found it very powerful. So I'd love to share this. Especially the point of don't compare with anybody and be gentle on yourself. And so, thank you very much for giving me this, and may you all shine brightly. This is my piece of art. I was dabbling in art.
Thank you, ma'am, for your truly inspiring session. So we are having one or two questions. Uh, Let me share it with you. Chartered accountants often lead change in governance, compliance, and transformation. How can they balance stability and with innovation while remaining dependable changes agents?
Yeah. So, I think there are two aspects. Okay. Some core values don't change, and some things you have to change. So, you need to identify what is that core which you don't want to change. And always, right? So, change doesn't mean you change 100%. Over the years you may see some change has happened, it has 100%, but at every time the change is so incremental, or some things which have to be changed. For example, all of us now have to learn AI, whether we like it or not. Something about AI we have to know. So like that in governance, what are the things which have to be changed, right? And what are the things, so keep that and be a little innovative in the way, to be innovative. If you want to be innovative, just dump 100 ideas. Don't start filtering your ideas. There's a technique for being innovative. Whatever random thoughts come to you, dump them, and then you have a separate so spend, like, say, 10 minutes, 15 minutes just dumping ideas, whatever time you give. Then you have spent time evaluating those ideas, right? And so then that's how you kind of work on your creativity. And you may not
Um,
have the answer today. So typically, like I said, I've worked with entrepreneurs on business plans. I will tell them it's a 2 to 3 month process, the whole business planning, typically average of thinking. Writing the business plan can take 1 or 2 days. With AI, it can be done in 1 minute, a fraction of a minute. Thinking about what you want to do and how you want to go, that takes 2 to 3 months. Human power is like that. And then it's solid, then you can do the implementation. Yeah.
This next one. How can leaders ensure the change remains inclusive, sustainable, and value driven, especially in the era of disruption?
So this you have to communicate. You have to have regular, um, sessions, okay, with your core team and your larger teams. Build in time to actually discuss what you're doing and how you're planning, short term, long term, and revisit periodically. So the communication is the key. I mean, for lack of time, I'm not giving too many details, but really you have to get everybody's buy-in. So you have to be an inclusive leader, get everybody in, and not, and like I said, the people will see how you judge them. Like, I was talking about mentoring. I'm not superior, so I communicate that very clear. I'm not doing you a favor. You're not doing, I'm learning from you, you're learning from me. So like that, you have to tell your inclusive team that you are as important to me as I am to you. So everybody is equal. We are in different states of time and experience.
Okay, ma'am. Madhukar, sir,
Oh,
you have
yeah,
something
thank
to
you. It was a wonderful hearing everybody. I think I missed a few minutes of uh, DS Vivek's. Both are Vivek's, In fact, both have come from Big Four. Both are Vivek's. Both were part of Akshara. Only Anjana was a senior to DS. I think by the time DS joined our Akshara group, Anjana was not there. She was in IIM, I think, at that time. Anyway, it was a wonderful session, and that's why I like to attend this. I don't know how people who have watched earlier sessions do not keep coming. So I would like to share a few things which will give more credence and maybe validate a bit more some of the observations made by the speaker. First, Vivek talked about his father, Suresh Babu. And let me tell you, Suresh Babu has aged so well. He's, I think, at least 10, 12 years elder to me, still plays tennis. So he's certainly a person to be admired. And he had gone through his health problems. And what Suresh said about, him advising his clients, I can validate that also because I know some of his clients and he used to give them medical advice. In fact, he gave me medical advice, Suresh's father. I called him once because I saw that somebody referred a doctor, and that doctor referred Suresh Babu, saying that he had gone through something. And so I went to him, and he also gave me some directions, I could say. So I would look at what was summarized by Vivek out of his life's learning, and a lot of it comes from his father also. So what I saw is that there was trust, which is basic. I think even in our office, trust was the reason why we made Akshara. Right then, 40 years back or 35 years back, when Anjana, me, Murugesh, who is no more, all of us met, and we started in a small way with 7 people, and now there are 120 online they meet. So trust is something which is amazing, and that I think is coming out in all. Second was timely delivery, and he also stressed ethical, being ethical, how it is beneficial. Also, dependability or reliability in times of crisis. In normal times, nothing much actually comes out. The true leadership comes out when there is trouble, when there is difficulty. Uh, and what he said was correct, that I think even Anjana also said the same thing, that referrals are all automatic. You just have to deliver value, that's it. And leadership is also automatic. Now, Anjana says she reinvented herself. I also had this, Anjana. I retired actually. I thought, okay, finished. I gave up all my, I sent, donated all my pants and shirts and shoes, everything I donated. I made myself a minimalist. And suddenly I stood for the institute. Now, uh, I had to get back. So, again, reinvention is also something which I did at the age of 62. Initially, I thought I'd retired. Then at reinvention, now I think I'm busier than I used to be 10 years back. So one of the other things which I think what many of you are having maybe in the growing stage, and this may be useful for DS Vivek also. DS Vivek is, I would say, a bit sheltered life, but if he wants to go beyond, I think that what he's doing, he's got a good team. Anjana, this guy has a good team. Okay, but then maybe he has to embrace diversity, uh, look beyond. There he may have to learn some things which you said, like you said about getting alignment. Getting alignment is not putting your thoughts. It is getting others' thoughts and aligning with that. It's more about getting common ways forward, which are ethical, which are moral, which also are fair. These things are, they look like small words, but they're very, very important. When we built a multi-locational office, we had to accept so many differences. There are partners who just not interested in wealth. They say we are comfortable. I want to serve as many people as possible. Then there are other partners who say, no, no, I want a Mercedes Benz after next year. Uh, okay, I never bought a Mercedes Benz, but my partners did, many of them, and many, not one or two. They themselves were buying multiple. But that is a different matter. The point was that we were able to accept differences and take it forward. Some of the other things which Anjana talked about was the serving, I mean, like unstated customers' needs. Very, very important. In fact, in my daily affirmation, I have a affirmation which says, I listen to people keenly, including what is unsaid. This is the affirmation I've been having from 2022. Normally, affirmations are something which we don't do too well. And that's why we need that affirmation to make us move towards that. So this unsaid, what customers don't tell us, clients don't tell us, people who interact with us, our family members are there. What is not said, if you are able to reach that and take care of it, then they are your fans for life. So with that small thought, and the other point which is very, very important is whenever we do anything good, it is not that we are doing them a favor. Today, for example, when I forgot this, we were discussing on matter of how we can help the poor farmers' children, how they can come and join CA, because the foundation course is 10,000 rupees. 10,000 rupees for Vivek, Anjana, or me may be a tip also for a good event. But for a farmer's child, it's a huge amount. So I said, why not we extend? There is one 25% facility for Northeast. I said Northeast and under economically challenged children. Why not we do this? And the Board of Studies, the director, Rashmi Goyalji, she said, this is a good idea, sir. We will try and get it through. So when we do something like this, it is an opportunity we got to do it. And if at all some children take advantage of it, we have to feel happy that we got an opportunity from them to do something for them. So I think a bigger purpose always gives us a huge, I would say, advantage. Be a net giver, we say. That is also something which Anjana covered very well. So I would have spoken for some more time, but again, I am also very particular about closing in time. And thanks, Vivek. Thanks, Anjana. Over to you, Priyanshu.
Thank you, sir. As we come out to the conclusion of this enlightening and the thought provoking webinar, we take this moment to express our heartfelt gratitude to our chairman, C. A. Madhukar Hirgange, for his inspiring leadership and consent encouragement, to our eminent speakers, C. A. D.S. Vivekji and C. A. Anjana Vivek Madam, for the insightful and inspiring deliberations, and to all the participants for joining and making this session truly meaningful. I would request all the participants to please give their feedback, which is very important for us for making any changes, anything required, any new topics which you can tell us that you need uh, a deliberation upon. So, and any improvements that is to be made towards the committee. So, thank you so much once again. Wishing everyone the continued success and good health. Good evening, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a wonderful week, everybody.
Yes,
Thank
you
you.
all of you. Bye.
Must be pretty, uh, you know, what time is it, Anjana? Some 2 o'clock?
8:30, morning 8:30.
Oh, okay, okay. It's all right then. Time is okay.
Yeah, yeah. Not too bad.
See you.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye-bye.